Hey, good morning, everyone. And do we already have a fuck you bones in the house? I like it. Every Sunday morning should start with a fuck you bones. Um, it's kind of like your daily apple. A fuck you bones a day keeps the doctor away. And from his best gaming friend, too. So I'm a big fan. We got a lot to do. We got a lot going on. We got a lot that we got to get going. So let's just kind of get started. See what's on the agenda. Morning, Limestone. I can't refute being a nerd. You know, that's just kind of how it is. That's life on the internet. I checked in with my guild's TB a little bit earlier. It keeps the bones away. Well, Bones does not wake up this early, so I think we are going to keep the bones away regardless. Instinct, good morning. I know you've been waiting for a while. Your review is actually first up today after we get our game stuff on. But I'm glad you stopped in. We're going to try to burn through all this as much as possible because we got a few reviews to do today. And let's just leave it at that. We're going to start with the battles that I really hate doing. It seems like we are slacking on our... what do we call those things? Platoons? Operations? We're slacking on those today. It's okay. Don't actually care. My guild gets my guild gets mad at me when we don't do really well on certain things, and I go, well, it's your fault, not mine. Yeah, Limestone, man. I tell people that all the time. You know, being a nerd in, I'm sure the 70s and the 80s, it was even worse, but in the 90s and 2000s, we were still, you know, getting laughed at and beat up on, and we were social pariahs, and that's not the case anymore, which is kind of cool. Happy for nerds of today, and kind of cool that I feel like everybody has some degree of like nerd culture in them, right? Like even my students in school, they're only in 4th grade, but like the kids that you would think would be the really popular ones, and who really are the really popular ones, they're watching like anime and they're talking about things that the popular kids would not have even dreamed of, wouldn't have dreamed of even talking about ever. Morning, Storquist. Yeah, I noticed that when I was pulling up the GG. I don't look at GGs ahead of time. Oh, fuck this. But I noticed when I pulled it up this morning that you were in Murder Bears, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I've reviewed a few guys in the Alliance. I hate this stupid fucking battle. For the Zephyl battle, what I will say, my favorite Jedi Knight Cal Kestis Omicron is his lead Omicron, but it does not help you in the Zephyl battle. His alright, we lost this one. His Whirlwind Omicron does make the battle a little bit easier. So if you're looking to get any Omicron, that's the one that I would get to make the battle run a little smoother. I could be it's fine. I don't. That's the sound my wife makes when she rolls over and sees me in bed next to her. She goes, ugh. So. The Omni is not going to allow you to auto that mission. The special mission is tough. I actually lost it this time. I don't usually lose it. I win about like 80% of the time. I wish you could auto it, but it's just, it doesn't happen. And Instinct, man, thanks for the Prime sub. It's a great way to support people is for free, right? Because you're already paying for Prime. I have to actually remember, I think mine for Cap Amazing is running out, and I have to re-up it for him. I don't know. I get the joke there, but you have not seen my wife in the morning. She is not a morning person. Oof. No, it will not. I have two. I mean, only one of the Omnis like works for that mission. Um, I have two out of the three of them, and I still have to remod, and you still sometimes lose. Sometimes, what happened to me this time was I got into the second round, I did my first attack, and it just became, they went like 7 times in a row and I was dead, which doesn't normally happen, but that's just how that battle works, and it is a pain in the ass. Baroness, honestly, she'd probably like that. That is her. She is someone who will wake up at like noon and then 45 minutes later tell me that she's tired. So, hey, Godspeed to you guys. Oh, man. This battle is killing me today. Sometimes you just get it so easily, and sometimes it's just like the worst thing in the world. If my wife, if I did anything to even attempt to wake her up, she would be annoyed the rest of the day, Limestone, like the rest of the day. I actually, I can't do any chores in the morning. I can't empty the dishwasher. I can't do anything because she hears it and then gets mad that I woke her up. Of course. I actually, obviously if you don't have any um, R8s, obviously Lothal is really hard, but no, this is not going smoothly at all. But Lothal is not that tough overall. It's just one of those like I can set it mostly on auto except for this mission. And this is a mission that like either you hit the right RNG early and you can beat this mission super quickly, or we got to do it the hard way, and I hate having to do it the hard way. Ryan, good morning. You know what's funny? I have actually lost this battle in this area where they just completely outdamaged the protection up. And you obviously hate it. You go, are you fucking kidding me? It's such a stupid mission for that reason. That's why I like to get it out of the way first, before anything else, so that I can just get it over with and then have fun with the easier missions. See, look at that. Look at that. They outdamaged me. I hate it. I hate my life today. It's a good thing I don't need those points. This one is easy to auto, though. And of course, this will be the one time that I don't. Yeah, usually that battle, what ends up happening with that Lothal fleet battle is that either nobody dies in the open barrage and then you can do it very quickly and easily, or somebody dies and then it's just a slow, painful battle. And I hate it every single time. 7-star profundity absolutely helps with ROTE, but the question is, will that help your guild? And what I mean by that is, will those 1 million points make a difference for your guild, or those 450, or those 600,000, whatever it is? If in the short term it'll help your guild, then yeah, do it. But it's so many crystals that I don't think it's worth it to prioritize upping profundity specifically for ROTE. You know, Snorquist, what I will tell you is I have no idea because I literally, like, I almost have like facial blindness when I play this game. Um, I don't even really, it's almost like, it's like numbers and zeros to me, or zeros and ones. It's like binary. Like, I look at the screen and the screen is just a means to an end. I don't listen to the music. I barely watch the animations. I just don't notice that shit. Well, what it comes down to is, are you using your resources effectively? You know, because like you could be using those resources towards something else to help your guild or to help you gain more crystals from GAC or more shards from Conquest. You know, it depends on your roster. You know, I'm considering. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I probably won't. I'm considering buying shards of Master Qui-Gon, even though I know he's going to be farmable soon, just to help my guild with the raid a little bit. But I'm so low on relic materials that it wouldn't really even help the guild, so that's kind of my holdback. Oh, I just read the T as silent. I don't know what's correct. And I'm so unapologetic about saying things wrong. Um, uh, Daniel, man, yeah, I played Torchlight a little bit. Um, let's do Lothal for. I've played it a little bit, but like I grew up playing like Borderlands and Diablo 2 and even the original Diablo, and I'm the same way. I throw that mini map up and I like look at the mini map. But that's because I grew up on like computer games that were like number munchers. There were no graphics, so I don't really give a shit about those things. You know, when the Zepho mission came out, I already had both at Relics, and with both at Relics, I can auto that fleet mission. So it's kind of really hard for me to say which one is going to help you better. Um, it's kind of like that late game blindness. Cap, are you going between Twitch and YouTube? Or is my chat just only reading some of them over here? You trying to fuck with me? I really wish that I had some platoons. I have not played a clicker game in a very long time, but yes, I've played quite a few of them. I played Cookie Clicker. I've played. My favorite was Crusaders of the Lost Idol, which was a pretty decent one on Steam. I think there's a mobile app now, but I don't play it. Trimps on Congregate was a really good one that I enjoyed. Anti-Idol 2 was a really good one that I enjoyed, but I have not played a clicker game in a very, very long time. Adventure Capitalist. I try to avoid them because you're right, numbers go burr, and I try to break the game, and it's just bad for my mental health, so I do not play them anymore. I played a lot of them during COVID when I was on like meetings with students because my students wouldn't show up and there was nothing that I could do about it. Um, so I just sit on these class meetings. Yeah, the numbers going up. I don't know. It does something. It does something to me. It does something that if Loretta did that to me, um, old school Family Guy joke. I can't do it because I get really addicted and I go, oh, I won't play until later, and then 5 minutes later I'm checking for an upgrade. So I've completely sworn them off. But I was somebody who played them for a very long time. Usually like one at a time. I'd never play like two or three. No, Vampire Survivors, I don't know what you'd call it. Clicker games are like, go to Cookie Clicker, probably cookieclicker.com. It's literally a game where you click on something for a number to go up, and then you start to build the game to play itself, and the numbers go up, and then you reset it, and then the numbers go up faster. It's basically a game that you play to not play, except I definitely spent too much time on them. I've played Adventure Communist, which is the offshoot of Adventure Capitalist. I've never played Cell to Singularity, and I hate that you bring that up because I'm going to Manhattan later, and I'm going to be sitting on a bus, and now I'm probably going to fucking download it and play it. Slang, good morning. I've played Realm Grinder. I think that one's on Steam if I remember correctly. So Daniel, a lot of them do. Some of them don't, right? And I haven't played some of them in a long time, but like Adventure Capitalist didn't really have a lot of depth to it. It might now, 4 years later, but when it first came out, it didn't. But I do like the ones that have a lot of depth to it. Those are the ones that are fun, where you have to think. And Realm Grinder is a really good one for that reason. There is a ton of depth to it. Cap, sort of, but not really. You start by just clicking on a cookie, but then the game opens up a lot over time, and it does kind of get you addicted to it. I don't have a great way to explain it, but I would not recommend getting involved in it. Like, if you click the cookie enough, you would get an upgrade, and you would get like an achievement, and that achievement would unlock an upgrade that you could use later on, and it would make clicking the cookie more effective. But then you'd reset the game, so that the cookie would give you more later, but then you want to get these upgrades that make it so you don't have to click the cookie. The game clicks the cookie for you. It's a whole thing. Like, it's a whole genre of game, and Cookie Clicker is one of the pioneers of it. I don't think it was the first one, but it's very, very, very close. Anti-Idol 2 was probably my favorite one for depth, but it was totally stored in your browser's cookies, and I deleted them at one point by accident, and my entire save got reset, and it made me not want to play it anymore. But overall, if you find a good anti-idol game and you're not hyper addictive, they're a fun way to kill like 10 to 15 minutes. A couple times a day. Maybe we could do a cookie clicker live stream one morning, just me clicking a cookie over and over again. See what happens. Oof. I'm surprised you've never heard of clickers. Either of you. Like, they're fairly popular, and there's quite a few of them on the market now. I played Tap Titans too, and that was like a whole. Oh my God, that was a whole thing with the raids and everything, and like the raids would be based on where you were, so you would try to like maximize your resources to spend after you were put in a bracket to get to the highest things. You'd also, there was a way you'd use, I don't remember what it's called. It's not, I think it's sticky keys, where you could use the num pad on your phone, on your laptop as a clicker. And in order to get the like click 20 times in a second thing, you'd like click on the num thing like this, the 4 and the 6 button, right? While you're clicking on your mouse. It was, those games, I can't. I honestly never thought that games like that would come up in one of my streams. But I have played a lot of them over the years. Let's get the targeting on to make this go a little quicker. There we go. All right. Let's see what we got. Now, we had to boot somebody from the guild an event ago. Last event I was on vacation, so I didn't do a lot. But it meant that I had to platoon my Asajj Ventress. And because I had to platoon my Asajj Ventress, I normally use my Night Sisters here. But I don't have her. So I don't even know if I can underman. Can you underman? No. So I have to just throw some in. So I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to just try it and see what happens. I'm kind of annoyed. I hope somebody else gets an R8 Ventress so that I can go back to doing this mission properly. Yeah, we'll just play idle games just constantly. I don't, that, oh my God, my hair would fall out. I don't, when it comes to like drugs and alcohol and nicotine, and I don't have an addictive personality, but when it comes to idle games, I very much have an addictive personality, and I can't do it. She is. That's it. So she's getting the Night Sister buffs here. And I mean, it's kind of working, right? I don't know if it's going to be reliable. We'll see what happens. My rule with clickers was one at a time, right? I don't play anymore. But my rule was I play one at a time. And if I got into another one, I'd get rid of the one before it. I really liked Crusaders of the Lost Idol because they released new characters a lot. Varuk, I haven't played a MOBA in a very long time, but I was on the forefront of MOBAs when MOBAs first came out. You know, I didn't play Defense of the Ancients. I think that the culture there was just too toxic, even going back to Warcraft 3, when it was just when Dota was just a a Warcraft 3 map. I remembered going into Warcraft 3 and you'd be on a map like the custom maps and you'd be like, Dota, new player friendly, teach you how to play, and you join it and you do one thing wrong and everyone would be like, go kill yourself, fuck you, you're the worst, your parents should die in a fire. And that was Dota for me. I played League of Legends for a long time. I haven't played it in since like Gnar came out. But League of Legends I played for a decent amount of time. I never played it ranked. I hated playing ranked. I would play ARAMs and I'd play unranked games. And there was this one that came out really early on called Heroes of Newerth. Oh, look at that. Boom. You said it right as I was saying it. So Heroes of Newerth, my ex-girlfriend, her cousin was a developer on that game. So I got he gave me like a beta code. And I did play it for a little bit of time. I was really hoping some of those would be in already. See, we're really slacking on our platoons this morning. Let's try... Well, C does better. You know what? C does pretty good here. I didn't even know it was still out. Oh, see, there you go. Yeah. Let's do this first. See what happens here. Yeah, when I was playing Warcraft 3, which is a very formative game for me, I love Warcraft 3. I'm glad I didn't pre-order the new redo because I heard it was fucking awful. And I was very disappointed in that because I was super excited for it. But back in those days, I played a lot of tower defense. Like Enfos tower defense. I played a lot of Footman Wars. There was a game called Darwin's Island that I played a lot of. I loved Warcraft 3 custom maps. They were just so great. Fuck you, Black Hammer. I love you. I'm just kidding. I love you a lot. This is actually the first Hero Collector I've ever played. I never played, no, I guess I played the Disney one after I played this, but I didn't like it a lot. I think there was 2 Disney ones and one of them shut down, and I played the one that shut down, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Enfos Towers was great. Bloons TD, like the Flash game. I would love to be playing on the PC client. Unfortunately, I'm on my Mac, and it's an Intel Mac, so I can't even use Whiskey to get around it. And I just I can't justify the expense on a new PC right now because I don't game enough anymore. So I need a Swoga Daddy to send me money for a PC, and then I will PC client it all day, every day. I played Warframe when it first came out. I didn't really like it. I have a buddy that still plays it. And he said it got significantly better over the years, but I never got back into it. I'll take a Star Wars Galaxy Hero Mommy too. Whoever's buying me a PC, I don't give a shit. Um, Dave the Diver was on PlayStation. It was a free game last month. I did not. Actually, I think it's in the collection. I didn't download it. I've downloaded 4 games in the last week, like in the collection, and I haven't played any of them. Let me finish this off. And so basically what you're saying is this, right? I actually got it free through Netflix. Right? I got it. I actually recently discovered Bloons 6, but I've been playing Bloons since the first one on the Flash Portals. I don't think I played the 5th one, but like the 1st through the 4th I played a lot of. Christian, good morning, brother. I hate Elden Ring. Kill it with fire. It can go fuck itself. I hate it so much. Again, I've told this story before. I haven't downloaded the new one. I haven't played the new one. I will not play the new one. My friend knows, one of my best friends knows that I hate Souls style games. And for my birthday, he bought me Elden Ring just to fuck with me. And he expected me to just throw it out. And I think it took me 92 hours, and I 100%ed the game and sent him a big middle finger. And then I sold it immediately after. I wasn't going to let him beat me with that. Also, I have no idea if this is going to work here. I'm just trying it just to see. No, Black Hammer, when it comes to a new PC, like, I'm not hurting for one. I don't game. I don't game enough to justify it. Like if I had 3 hours a night to like play games like I used to, then I would justify that expense. But I just don't do it anymore. So spending that money, it's not feasible when that money could go towards my mortgage instead. So look, if you like Souls games, great. Then they'll be fun for you, right? I don't like Souls games. I don't have time for them. I don't have the time to like sit down. He happened to buy it for me at the end of, maybe it was last summer, at the end of last summer. So I had like 2 weeks where I wasn't doing anything. That style of game just isn't enjoyable to me overall. So I enjoyed the idea of the challenge of, I was driven by hate. I basically hate played through that game. It's not interesting to me. If Souls games came out when I was like 13 to 16 and I was gaming 8 hours a day, I probably would like them more. But I just don't have the time on the regular to invest in them the same way that I used to. That it's just not worth it for me. All right, we're gonna do this. There's no platoons on the day 5 planet right now. I usually like to have some platoons before doing this, but I can't wait. We're in a little bit of a time crunch. I want to get to Conquest. I want to get to these reviews. I played MSF for like 3 months. I can't invest in 2 of these games at the same time. Captain Happy, I think, I don't know how old you are. I don't know what like your lifestyle is. For me, my gaming shift has nothing, like I've never played any GTA. I haven't played any of them. Um, my gaming shift completely changed based on what I was doing in my life. I grew up playing a lot of like JRPGs, like really long games, like really solid like play experiences where you sit there and you spend 80 hours playing, and I loved that cinematic like watching cutscenes. And but as I got older and like you get a job and I have two jobs, and now I want to spend more time with my wife and less time gaming. I hate those types of games. I like games now where I can play for 20 minutes at a time. So games like roguelikes that I probably wouldn't have liked more as a kid, um, I like now because I can play them in 20-minute spurts, right? I enjoy being able to pop in like Rogue Legacy and play one or two rounds and then bounce. Or Hades, and I'm excited for Hades to come out to PlayStation, because I don't want to get it on Steam because I don't even know if my computer will run it very well. Um, but I enjoy a game like that now, and so a lot of games that are coming out I don't even play, but they're games that I would have played years and years and years earlier. Um, I get frustrated by games that have too many cutscenes nowadays because I just want to sit and play. Like Spider-Man, I think they patched Spider-Man. Um, is there any combat I can do? No, I think they patched Spider-Man so you can skip cutscenes. But when I was playing it, um, you couldn't skip cutscenes, and I would have like an hour in the morning to play, and 45 minutes of that hour would just be cutscenes. And it would get really, really, really frustrating for that reason. All right, so we are done with TB. We're gonna pop over to Discord really quick. We're gonna just see if my boy Q is up and yelling at people. Nope, he's not yelling at people yet. So we are going to tell everybody they need to deploy because nobody wants to notify true. Let's do that. We're going to let that go really quick. I've seen Deep Rock Galactic. I don't really understand what it is. Like I've looked at screenshots. People are like, "Oh, it's really great," and it kind of seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong because I've never played it. It kind of seems like almost like a Left 4 Dead style of game. So it seems like more fun to play with like people that you know, and being in my oh my God, being in my late 30s now. That's actually a funny story. Being in my late 30s now, like a lot of my friends, like we don't have time to game together like we used to. If we do have time, we'll like play Ticket to Ride on Steam, for an hour, and it'll be very quick. It'll be very easy and done. Because I find a lot of gaming is a lot more fun when you're playing with people and you can like chat with them on voice chat. So the nickname Doug, funny story, I did a video a few days ago, and Kazgul on Discord, he messaged me, he's like, "Hey, I think you doxed yourself by accident. On your Discord, your name is there." My name's not Doug. My guild leader, he knows that I'm an I Think You Should Leave fan. Oh, I didn't know that they did that. He knows I'm an I Think You Should Leave fan, and he's a fan of I Think You Should Leave. And he said that I remind him of this guy Doug from this one sketch. And it's like this obscure sketch. I don't even remember it. I think it's from the newest season or the second season. I think it's from the sketch where he wears like really loud shirts and he spends way too much money on the really loud shirts. So he changed my name on Discord to Doug. Ignoring the fact that there's so many more better, I think you should leave sketches like the car one, the focus group, the the country song one, the the zip line one, the 55 burgers, like all these funny ones. So he changed my name to Doug, and I haven't changed it back. SnoreQuest, I actually have to look into that. I wonder if it's on PS5 because again, my computer, like my PC, literally right now has a very cheap, very old. I'm gonna run this while we're waiting. Very old graphics card. The case, not the case fan, the power supplies fan, the CPU fan that has kind of conked out and it's running really poorly. So like anything that requires any real graphical amount sets off alarms in my computer going like, "Hey, you're overheating." But it's a very old. It's a 30-year-old, not 30. Oh shit! It's like a 10-year-old PC. So I don't. I do very 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 little on it right now. Um, hey Zavor, how's it going? Very very little. It's not somewhere where I put my time. Um, Oh, I played War back in the day. I was thinking about getting into the Warhammer here, the Warhammer collector, but I'm so worried that it's gonna take over my life, and that I'll have two collectors that I'm spending way too much time on. Uh, I've never been into the tabletop for Warhammer. I have friends that play it, but I was always into RTS games, and I loved Dawn of War. Dawn of War 1 and 2 were amazing. I'm a big fan. I'm realizing that my game is not up right now, and I'm actually running just where is it? Running this real quick. Um, I mean, if anyone wants to drop their ally code, I have 50 allies, and I go through. My cycle is people randomly ally me, and then I look through to see if there's anybody that's inactive, and if there is, I delete them. There we go. All right. So we did TB. We got to run into Conquest. Then we got to get these roster reviews done. I'm going to take a quick 2 minute to grab some water, and then we're going to get into Conquest. All right. So I'm going to be right back. we're back. What time is it? 50. Good news is I've pretty much finished Conquest. It's really just finishing up the feats at this point. Captain Happy, yeah. I have a friend, well, he's more of an acquaintance who like is super addicted to Warhammer, and anytime I see him, I don't see him often because, you know, as you get older, that just happens. He literally only talks about Warhammer, so I'll see him like once in 10 years, and then the first words out of his mouth will be like, "Oh, the Space Wolves Codex is blah 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 blah," and I'll be like, I don't. I'm at a party. I don't care. All right, so we're gonna pop this in, but I enjoyed Dawn of War. I enjoyed some of the books. Like I enjoy the lore behind Warhammer, so I would be interested in maybe looking at that Hero Collector. I actually have not heard that opinion, but I'll tell you. I mean, I did a whole thing on it on Discord on Reddit, and that was my opinion when they first announced Duel of the Fates, is that it is worth it. You'll get a great ROI after 13 months, which is a really good time frame for ROI in this game. 13 months sounds like a lot. I do think for a higher end account, the Lover Boys and Quadme are a really good idea for this raid to prioritize because it's a 3-man team and you get the ROI of Duel of the Fates. However, if we're talking early mid-tier, I don't think it's something worth prioritizing. I don't think it's something that you should like put in the top of your list unless you're in the later end of the game right now. But I plan once I have both of them farmed, they will be going straight to R9. Sora Guerrera's got to survive. All right. Yeah. Where's Saw? There he is. Yeah, I actually think I saw an ad for it this morning. I'm pretty sure it's Tacticus, and I was so very tempted to download it. And maybe I will at some point. Of course I love, they just go after whoever the lowest is. I enjoy playing games when they're newer. I know that it came out a few months ago. Come on. I played, well, I've said this a few times, that I am lucky that the Mega Man one sucked. Like, it's just so bad, because if it was any good at all, I would have probably left Star Wars Galaxy Hero to play it, because, again, big Mega Man fan. I should really be working from the top down, not the bottom up, but that's okay. I don't really care that much. Sabine Wren, okay, it's not that bad. We could put Sabine into a team and probably make this work. No, we're gonna put consumables on because I've already done everything. So I don't really have anything that's hard to do. Tenacity, speed, defense. Let's do defense penetration. There we go. resting my voice before we get into all of the reviews that we're going to have to do today. Oh, did I need to kill something with Sabine? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I should have paid attention to that. All right, we'll come back to that. Yeah, here's our Discord. Hold on. Oh well. This is how much I pay attention. We'll come back. There's a new one that came out? No, I didn't know that. I listened to all the ones that came out when you first told me about it. I didn't realize another one had come out. Dark side characters, or anything dark side I need to do here. Separatists, I don't think separatists are working there. I do need to do gain, adapt, or die. Where's my bounty hunter node for that? There it is. Imperial Troopers. Scout. I think it's you, right? I can never tell the difference between these two guys. There, pop, pop. It sucks that I'm going to have to do 2 battles overall to get this, but whatever. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, I guess. Alright, I don't actually care if I win this battle because it doesn't do anything for me, so I'm going to try just doing basics to see if I can get 3 of these off. Yeah, tomorrow I'll listen to it when I'm driving to work. I'm not good about knowing when new music comes out. Okay, so clearly this is not going to work this way. Which sucks. Well, maybe... No, I'm not going to get enough of them. This, I don't honestly know. This is where I have to get adapt and die, adapt or die, and because it's not a Datacron node, I don't actually care if I win the battle, because I've already beat the node. I was trying to see if I could do this in 1 battle instead of splitting it into 2 battles, which maybe is going to work. So I got 5, 7, 9 of them now. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'll have to listen to it tomorrow. It's a shame. A little earlier, and I would have probably been able to get all of them. But now I should only need 1 bat. Yeah, see, I needed 2 more instances of it. So let's just get it out of the way. Every day, man. I'd institute a rule. I don't use VA at all. I do use Swiftness. I do use Amplify Agony. I don't use voluntary accelerator. I try not to do any hard cheese tactics unless I absolutely have to, just because they're time consuming. You know, you can see what is today. Today is day 7 of Conquest, and I'm pretty much done. This is just, it's all extra stuff that needs to get done. I have to do like my Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, but I'm gonna just run those battles on auto, because it doesn't actually matter if he gets them often. What do I have left here? Two rebels, okay. And I only, so this is a perfect round except for that. The last Conquest cycle, I went for extreme efficiency just to see if I could do it, just to see how few battles I could get it done in. I personally don't recommend extreme efficiency. It is very time consuming and it's a pain in the ass. I did the last Quad May one in 137 battles, which is insane. It's not important how few battles you do Conquest in. What is important is how few battles you do it in until you are only doing it on Datacron nodes. So that's the important thing. So I stress like a degree of efficiency, but once you get to a certain point, you go, all right, I'm just going to knock it through, and then almost everything can be done on a Datacron node. So that's the goal, really. By tomorrow, I should be doing full-on autos for this, which will be really, really, really nice. That'll give me 2 days of refreshes to get a couple of Datacrons. I have heard, someone was saying on stream, 2 days ago, they were saying that they actually do Conquest differently, and they rush to Sector like 3 in the first week, and then Datacron farm for a week, and then the second week they finish Conquest, so that they go into GAC with more Datacrons. Morning, C. Maddie. Bounty Hunter units, alright, Master Qui-Gon and Qui-Gon surviving. It's not that bad. Galactic Republic. So we do like, let's get a tank in there. Qui-Gon, where is Qui-Gon? Qui-Gon and Master Qui-Gon. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 roster reviews on my docket for after Conquest. I cannot guarantee that I will get to any more than that today. If you go on our Discord, there are 2 of us that do roster reviews though, and we both timestamp them so that if people cannot be there for them live, they can, go to them later on. It's something that I would recommend as what to do. The Acolyte, I have watched some of. I have not finished The Acolyte yet. I'm maybe 4 episodes in. I don't know. I mean, it's cheesy. Like, pretty much all Star Wars is. I don't think it's that great, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, but you need more Amplify Agonies, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, I don't use VA. Um, and I normally use multiple AAs. I only got one this time. I don't like the VA AA setup because I find it harder for debuff and buff feats to get the ones that I want. And I would rather not have to switch out my data disks at all. I try to run a Leader's Resolve. I try to run a Zealous Ambition. I try to run an Amplify Agony and a Fortify. I love Ruthless Swiftness. I run one Ruthless Swiftness, and I don't really, for earlier game accounts, who have to use SOKR a little bit more, I understand. I don't really use SOKR at all in in Conquest. I very, very, very rarely use him. Unless a feat specifically says that I have to use him. Come on. There we go. Unless a feat tells me I have to use SOKR, I don't use him. Limestone, the way that I prefer to do it, I try to switch up my discs as little as possible because it makes it less, like I have to think less. Right, so I try to keep the same data disk setups as much as I can, so that I don't even have to think about it. Right, like I know what I need to do, I know what it'll work with, I know what teams it'll work with, and then I can just run through Conquest as fast as possible. Captain Happy, there is a content creator, Darth Loquitur, who is really good at the very, very early game. I would say that I am not amazing at the super early game, and my bread and butter is around the time that a player is starting to think about their first galactic legend. So that's kind of where I kick off, is around the 1.5 to 2 million range, and then going from there. And then bounty hunters, right? Let's do Hut Cartel, and we don't want Skiff in there because Skiff is not a bounty hunter. Yeah, I don't really. I don't really like. It's weird to say I don't plan, because I do. Like you can see on, you can see that I make a video on it, but I do the video more for other people and less for me. I don't save. I save like a couple team comps. You saw throughout the week I was looking at the infographics that Moonboard made of my video, because I don't even remember the things that I said. They're based off of like, hey, this is probably what I'm going to do. And they're there to help other people in my situation more than for me. I kind of run in, I don't want to say blind because it's not blind, but I run in with like my shotguns, and I go, hey, it's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. So SnoreQuest, what I do, my timestamps are on YouTube, and because you can timestamp on YouTube and you can put in those things. So when I do like today, for example, I keep a sheet where I write down all the times of things happening, and then I put that into YouTube, and then on my channel, on my notification channel, I tag all of the people who I did a review for that day. And I say, hey, here's the video. Click on it, and you can see the timestamps there, and you can look at them that way. That way, people, even if you're like mostly a Twitch person, like because you're on Twitch right now, even if you're mostly a Twitch person, the video is accessible to you. You know where to find it, and the timestamps will be there. Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't know the guy really well. I just know that he knows his early game. I've heard really great things about him, and people, talk really great things about him. As somebody who's not really in the early game, there's no reason for me to really interact with that content. That is one of the reasons why I do it. Instinct, sometimes people do need to re-look at a review. So I try to get that in there so that it's very easy for them. It also makes it easier for them if they were not able to be there live. For them to be able to just hop in and go, oh, all right, like I can check out this later. I like when people are here live because then I can answer questions, but unfortunately, I have very limited time, and there's very specific times that I can do this. So it's kind of a, hey, do it this way. This is the best I can do. And what typically will happen is people will message me later, and they'll say, hey, here's some more context. What do you think? And it might change what I told them, but it usually doesn't. All right. Is there anything else? Oh, I got to do that separatist battle in Sector 2, actually. Not Sector 2. Sector 3 is separatist. I think Sector 3 is separatist. They should be able to do this. Don't want step. I want you. Yeah, I don't have time to sit through 3 hours usually. That's why I try to, like, when I do a video, I try to talk as fast as possible. Sometimes they go 30 minutes, but I try to talk as fast as I possibly can so that you don't have to watch a giant video, but obviously some people really are into that, and that's more power to them. I do more listening than watching. I'm more apt to listen to the podcasts like HNN. I do listen to Sarah and Pico talk about what's going on in their games. I find their stuff very interesting, but I can listen to that on my commute. So it's a little bit easier. I'm gonna just throw this on auto at this point now that I have that on there. Yeah, you know, during the week I only do that. If you put my video, do you put my videos at 1.5 speed? Because I talk fast. I try to, like, I don't know if anyone's ever watched Zero Punctuation, but I try to embody zero punctuation as much as possible and talk like this, and I keep going and I just pause real quick and then I move on. So listening to me at 1.5 speed must be a real fucking trip. Unholy Baroness, I am aware of your girl crush on, well, I guess it's just a crush on Sana. I've never really used her squad. Don't really care to use her squad. Doesn't seem like a decent squad. Maybe with the Stormtrooper Han thing going on, maybe that changes. I don't know. I think I put the wrong thing on Magna Guard, did I? Yep, I put the wrong one on Magna Guard. Oh well. That's great. I actually fucking love that. Instinct, yeah. You know, I'm a morning person. I'm a huge morning person. So for me, like 7, 8 in the morning. During the week, I generally don't stream. I do now because it's summer. Brunch with Egnards is one of my favorite things to do. I look forward to every single week doing it. And as a morning person, like, I know I can get more viewers probably at prime time. I don't care. This is when I'm up and this is when I want to do things. Mary J, I'm not a big politics guy. I will tell you, I don't like to talk politics. I hate politics. I don't like getting into fights with people about politics. There is an area on our Discord, though. It's called the Wastelands, where I don't give a shit what people say. And people have been talking about it there, and I try to stay clear of it because I want to give people their space to talk about politics. It's just not, it's not for me to get involved in. What I would say, my only real political opinion right now is that if either of them, okay, Trump or Joe Biden, if it came out that either of them was actually being Weekend at Bernie's in the last couple of years and that they're actually dead, I'd believe it. It's my only political opinion that I care to share in any degree of context. Oh, I could have ran this on a different note. I don't actually need to be on this note. Now, again, the really important thing to remember here when it comes to like Jedi Knight Cal Kestis kills is I don't need them. I don't need to get 5 a battle because I'm on Datacron nodes. So I'd rather just run this on auto than anything else. That's also probably accurate. If we got rid of currency, no, because currency is just like a stand-in for a trade, right? You're trading goods for services in the same way you would goods for goods. I don't think it would change anything. You'd still have some degree of inflation in terms of the things that are important at one time. Ooh, actually, since I have this set up this way, let's because we have this guy here, getting all of his buffs in, we might as well take advantage of that. I'm worried about you killing him. You know, the whole GL current. Oh, well, he's dead. Oh, right, because whatever. Um, the whole thing with GL currency is that's the whole purpose of GL currency, you know? Um, yeah, it does suck, but that's why the currency exists. There's no other reason for the currency exist other than for if you fail, this happens. But outside of SOKR and Ray, there are very few battles that are actually difficult for GLs. There's a few of them, but there's really not that many. All right, we got 10. That's not bad. Should be done with this by tomorrow. We have a few things that I can shore up. We're good with Conquest right now. I think I have one more refresh, but I'm gonna do that on the bus later so that I have something to do. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna throw on some of this stuff. Tasinex, good morning. I am going to refill my water, and then we're gonna hop. Oh, actually, let me just check this first. It's 9 o'clock, 8:30, so about a half hour ago. Oh, my buddy Q. What's Q saying? Hey there, you think I went to Volcano Bay? Yeah. Reese, dude. Gonna call out all of my guildmates for you guys to see. There it is. Go to our Discord. Where are my roster reviews? You'd think I'd know this, right? There it is. Go up to my boy up here. I'm actually headed into Manhattan today. One of the O Fortuna guys, he's on business in Manhattan, and he asked if I wanted to meet him for a drink. So I'm gonna pop on a bus and drink with a stranger on the internet. So if nobody hears from me by tomorrow, I have been kidnapped and I am in a basement somewhere. But that's the kind of thing I do for people. If you happen to be somewhere in the area and I can make it work, I will make it work because I like to meet people. Again, I'm just gonna refill this gin, and then we will get to the part where I have to talk over and over and over again in my super, super fast voice, right? So give me 2 minutes. Yeah, I am probably going to get kidnapped at some point if we are completely honest. We did the Reddit meetup. I'm doing one today. There's other people who have told me they might be in town at some point, and we'll see. If it's not today, it'll be next time, and um, we're just gonna get kidnapped, and we're all right with it. I'm back. All right, let's see. We got Instinct up here first, and we're going to take a timestamp so that you can watch this later if you want to. See what we got. Oh, let's just see what my buddy over here is saying first because it's important for TB. I'll tag shortly. All right, don't worry about that. Hey, Egnards, thanks for your time. I appreciate you and the brains you're putting into this game. Fleet chart is currently composed of a single Leviathan, 2 Profundities, a Finalizer, and 16 Executors in the top 20. I'm currently not involved with them as there is no Shard Discord to my knowledge. Float somewhere between top 3 and top 5. What I will say, I don't know if you've reached out to people, but I probably would reach out to people in your Fleet Discord just to see if there is something. And if there isn't, I would honestly advise you to set something up. It's super easy. It just makes it so that you don't drop as much, even if people are relatively friendly, right? It lets people know who they can hit, who they can't hit, just in terms of like fleet payouts that are coming up in the near future or shortly. It can be really helpful. So like I try to avoid people in my fleet Discord who are within like the next 3 hours if I can help it. And if I have to do 2 battles to jump somebody because their payouts in the next hour after mine, then I'll do a second battle if I have the time to do so, just to be fair, to be nice, because I want that same courtesy given to me. Assault battles, CT2 on most of them. Places of Plat Power is still CT1, Ground War CT2, Seared Shadow CT1. Fanatical Devotion, just literally 0. Current farming plans, I put JML on hold for Naboo raid teams, GR Jedi, Seps, Maul, Sidious. After raiding JML and further investments into my Jedi, I wanted to divert into either Jedi Knight Cal Kestis or building some teams out. Padme and GG come to mind immediately. Other than that, I'm rather open on what to pursue next. If there's something more eminent for me in my roster that I could benefit me. Am I dead set? Apart from finishing JML's awesome, so it doesn't matter. And the raid teams, I'm open to that. Efficiency versus fun. Tend to lean more into fun in most cases while trying to do semi-efficient in the meantime. No, I am normally free to play. I spent like 2 Lightspeed bundles, so you're a casual spender. Just wear it with pride. No big deal. I doubt I will spend again, but we'll see what CG cooks up in the Lightspeed department. I'm aware my mods are not the greatest. They're currently a work in progress. As per usual with those pesky things, a review of those would be nice. It's funny. I don't often look at people's mods, but I do in some cases where something seems off. And I go, oh, well, now that makes sense now that I've seen that. So we'll take a look. We'll see what's happening here with this roster. Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, you're an Awakened Murder Bears. I'm an Awakened as well. Awakened Mandalorians. Why are we Awakened Mandalorians? Because when we came to this alliance and we were talking about new guild names, they would not allow me Awakened Gungans. And by the way, I wanted to be Awakened Ewoks way before Awakened Murder Bears became a thing, but that was also shot down too. Oh well. Let's see. All right, so we have Executor, 6 stars right now. We're running CLS, about 4.5 million GP, so we're doing pretty okay. Oh, are you the GL? I'm gonna check out Murder Bears if this lets me. 256. For a 256 guild, you got some pretty high guys in here. Everything's running slow right now. Galactic members. Oh, look at that. You are the GL. I don't know why I didn't believe you when you said that. Let's see what's going on with the raid. Speeder Bike Pursuit. So you guys went back to Speeder Bike Pursuit. You're doing 65.7. Battle for Naboo, 11.9. All right, I'm going to turn off this screen just really quickly. We're going to go back to Discord just so I can throw something up for you to see so that I don't dox myself. Change account. There we go. Perfect. So I've been working on this thing, and this is one of the sheets in there. So we're looking at, you are getting the 67, where is it? You're getting the 36 box in Speeder Bike Pursuit, right? And that means that you want to get the 22 box in Battle for Naboo. So if we look at that 22 box in Battle for Naboo, and I'm going to be doing a video on this in the near future. You guys get a little bit of a teaser on it. The 22 box, basically, if you look at it from your guild's perspective, you don't actually need to do that much. You need an average score of about 450,000 per player. And these are the teams, and I've been working on this with the raid server, and with Belloc from the raid server, who's also on our Discord. Basically a 450 average goal really is only one Gear 12 squad, and then in a base difficulty squad kind of just gives you a little bit of extra leeway. So when we look at that, what you have to do as a guild member is not actually that much, right? And that's going to be important. And we're going to leave this sheet up for some other people if we maybe need that later. Pop back to your.gg. Let's check out your raid history. Battle for Naboo. So you did 58,000. So you definitely are going to want like one or two raid teams. But as you pointed out, you're not going to have to go too crazy with them, right? That's just something to kind of keep in mind. Let's go to our collection. We said, let's see, you actually, for where you are in the game, you don't have the worst assault battles, which is really nice. So that's something to be proud of. You could probably get CT2 on that Places of Power with like Palplead, Treya, Nihilus, like Darth Vader, and maybe even Savage. The first time I did Places of Power, it's a Nihilus basically oriented battle of doing things as slowly as possible. You'll maybe want to get them up to like G11, G12 first if you want to. If you want to do that, it's not going to require too much effort, but it does take learning the strategy of going super slow and killing things as slowly as possible, which is counterintuitive, and annihilating characters. It's an option if you just want some extra relic material if you find yourself hurting for that. Check out these Jedi. You're doing CT2 right now. Let's check out our mods. Okay, and so I've said this again, you don't have great speed mods on him, but just, and it's fine, that's not a big deal, but just so that you know, if you want to do CT3 of Ground War, you actually want literally 0 speed on him. You want to run him as the leader. You want someone super fast as well, so maybe try to get Hermit Yoda as fast as possible. And you want to use the granted special as quickly as possible to speed limit the whole enemy team. And you want to end each round with that same granted ability so that the next round starts with Jedi Knight Luke's turn. If you do something like Jedi Knight Luke lead, Revan, Hermit Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, and I'd really like a tank in there. Maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi could do it. But I think with your Jedi in your current state, it is going to be tough to do CT3. It's worth trying because you don't have a super strong tank right now. When you have JML, it will be a lot easier because you'll have a tank. For Jedi Knight Luke lead, yes, no speed whatsoever. When you start using Jedi Knight Luke as a secondary character outside of the lead, and honestly, I don't use him as a leader anymore, but he is good as a leader for Ground War specifically, then you're going to want speed on him. But for Ground War specifically, you want literally no speed, because the slower you speed limit everybody else, the easier life is going to be for you. Let's check out. I'm going to check out these Sith again. So you have Sidious and Maul, right? Both at 85, both at 7 stars. Really good option for you at this level, as I kind of showed you in the raid graphic, is to do like the Darth Maul lead team. You have Newt. We do not have Newt up and running yet. Oh, I put a double Sith tag. I don't know why I did that. I don't even know why it lets you do that. Okay, a little bit better. I got scared for a second. So same thing, right? If you were to, as a very quick investment, investing in Nute Gunray to like G12, because you have everything there. If you were to invest in Nute Gunray, Darth Maul, and Darth Sidious to G12, that's all core gear. All core gear. And I'm not sure if throwing in 2 Separatists is the better option over just doing the 3-man. But then with like a G12 B2 and a G12 Magna Guard, you'll probably have enough points, right? You'll be able to get very close to that 450 that your guild is going to need in order for you specifically to meet the criteria for your guild, right? So that's a very quick, very easy option for you. For you, Captain, as a brand new player, probably not. For most people, most definitely because of Get 3. Yeah, well, the nice thing is that it's going to build up a lot faster than other things, right? So you are going to have to gear a lot of things, but that is a team that's going to be a really, really good option for you. You have the Luminara lead Zeta. That's another really great option for you. But in order to really make that team go burr, you're going to want Kit Fisto in there. And again, you already have him at 6 stars. You're already kind of getting him up there. It's probably not the optimal team, But Luminara, Kit Fisto, Grandmaster Yoda, Mace Windu, and just based off of what you have, Shakti, right? You get all of those guys. You get all of those guys to G12, you will have a solid Luminara-led team to get some decent points. What I'm trying to do is, because you're more towards the early game, you don't want to spend considerable investment toward this raid, but you do want to do your guild's average, and you are even more than your guild's average because of your position of authority within the guild. You want to lead by example, but you don't necessarily need to bring anything crazy to relics. Right, you really only need G12 teams smart G12 teams, in order to get your guild where they need to be at. And that's just something to keep in mind when we're talking about raid teams, and the raid teams that you should be prioritizing is the things that will be able to fill in slots that you already have so far. I can see if you get those two teams to like G12, you could be pushing 600 to 900,000, which is about double what your guild needs your average to be. And I would not put in too much more investment than that, because then you're going to end up burnt past that. Larry, this, for newer accounts and lower accounts, it's tough. It is. I think tier 0 to tier 2 is definitely tuned a little bit too highly. And good morning. Gear tracker. It says it was updated 2 hours ago, so it depends on when you did it. Could be a bug in it as well. But that's even better than if he's 7 stars. Alright, you are super close to Jedi Master Luke. Yeah, absolutely, you gotta burn through that. 100%. $15.30. Let's see what those core teams are looking like that you isolated. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. Let's check it out. Level 1. Level 1. Level 1. I'm seeing a pattern here. Level 1. Level 1. Okay. All right. So reviews like this are on Mothman 600. Okay. So reviews like this are some of the toughest ones that I do, because when people are talking about when they want to do things for fun, I'm here for efficiency, right? And you're trying to look for a mix. And I don't want to argue with people wanting to have fun, because that's subjective and that's completely up to you what you want to do in the game. But your entire Jedi Knight Cal Kestis team is still at gear level 1, and they're all Cairo Hogs, so you're gonna find yourself you're gonna find yourself in a problem trying to get those characters up, especially because your guild is not going to be doing Zepho anytime soon. I can understand him being like a favorite character of yours, and that being why you want to do it, but it's just not something that I would recommend. I happened to notice a comment of yours on Discord recently, so I feel kind of funny saying this. I'm pretty sure it was you, and talking about the whole Jabba thing, right? Like, when in doubt, farm Jabba. That's actually Fat Phil's thing, not mine. I do, I think, more roster reviews than he does, so maybe I'm getting a little bit more known for that. But the reality is that he's just part of that early game ecosystem when you're talking about the things that an account really needs. And it makes just so much sense to go for him for that reason, especially when you're already going for Jedi Master Luke. I could see taking a break to get some other stuff up and running if you're like really burnt out. If you're getting really burnt out on GL grinds, but that's really the way that I would go. I would bite the bullet because looking at your assault battle ROI, it's actually really good for where you are in the game. You have all of the CT1s that are important done. You have a lot more CT3s than a lot of people have at your level. You're very healthy in that regard. But as you have isolated, your mods are a work in progress. And one of the reasons that I really struggle to look at people's mods is because they are kind of random, right? Like you don't really know what you're going to get. You just have to understand the best practices on what to roll, what not to roll, what to throw away. Jabba is really, you know, the thing that kind of jumpstarts and puts you in a good position for your mods because you're going to get so much more over time, right? And looking at some of your higher end mods, it seems like at the very least you have an understanding of how modding works, and that's, you know, learning is half the battle. To bring it back to the late 80s into the early 90s, you have more plus 20 or so speed mods than a lot of people that I know at this level of the game. It's just about being able to consistently get them over time. I think if I were to suggest anything for you, I would probably well, you only need relics for JML, right? So you don't let's see, let's go back on what you were saying. So if you only need relics for JML, I would not postpone him. I would be relicking to get yourself to ticket grinding to make your life easier. And while you're ticket grinding, even though JML is important and even though you'll run out of gear for him, while you're doing those first couple of tiers, that's when you can work on those raid teams, right? But again, not over prioritizing it. So we already talked about the teams that you could kind of look at based on the characters that you already have, because you don't need to bring them to relics to do what you need to do. The Luminara team is probably your best bet for right now as a first team because you already have her Zeta, and you already have Grandmaster Yoda at relic levels. Again, you're going to be doing the G12 tier, but he'll be a stronger character. And off the top of my head, it would be Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and Shak T, so that you can invest as little as possible, but still hold up your end of the bargain with the guild. After that, I would hands down be doing Jabba. Hands down. After JML, after those raid teams, after all of that is done, I would be doing Jabba and then go for your core teams, right? Then start working on like your pad, well, maybe GG first because his auxiliary droids will help you with raid scores. Okay, so that's when I would do maybe like GG first, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and Padme. Because that's the point in the game when your ROI is totally shored up or mostly shored up, and you can decide, hey, do I want to have a more fun account or do I want to have a really hyper efficient account? Because you'll have a lot of that extra free stuff already working for you, right? And modding is part of that. So if I had any choice on your account right now, I would say don't hold back on JML, get those relic levels, get to the ticket farming stage, start working on that raid team for Luminara because you already have it mostly put together. Work on Java after that. When Java is done, that's going to take a while. Then work on your GG team. We're going to be nearing the end of the raid probably at that point. So those droids that you're going to be getting from GG will only be cursory helpful, but they will be helpful to you with maybe that Sith Seppi squad if you decide to kind of put a little bit into that, which you really don't have to do. And then work on your Padme, then work on your Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and then you can do more fun projects after that, or Profundity is probably a really great option after that as well. So that's kind of where I would go with that. Looking at some of your top mods, again, like I said, you have an understanding of modding, and that's the first step, because I can't predict what mods you're actually going to get. Does that answer all of your questions? Hopefully it does. That's how I would do it. But now again, here's the thing. There's two ways you can do JML. My personal opinion would be get him up and running. But because the raid is new and you probably want to prioritize those teams, at least get to ticket farming for him, because then you can knock the first 3 tiers out of the way before you actually have to unlock him. And you'll be halfway there for when you pick back up on that. But my personal opinion would be to just burn through him and get it done. Make sure you have enough gear for him, get him to relics, then do raid teams. But I understand the dynamic of wanting to get your guild rating. So I would at least get to ticket farming, because you don't need to relic anything for the raid. You just need to gear, and you don't need to gear at all for JML. So it's kind of working on both at the same time without one really having any issue with the other, if that makes sense. Yeah, and you're going to be looking at 6 months, so your guild might be in the good position for that. But even with Profundity, you only need, is it 1 R9, I believe? So realistically, even if you bought those with crystals, because you are getting fleet crystals, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to kind of jumpstart that and work towards that, so that you don't have to, you won't have to speed star it. You'll be in an okay position to kind of let it hold over time. Hey, Azure. Yeah, I mean, some people go for Profundity first. It's not my preferred route, but I don't think it's a bad route. Yeah, so I'll show you, right? We kind of answered all the questions here. Let's see. We don't need the raid comparison. We're going to go to this one, but let's go back to Discord. Again, I've been working with the raid server a little bit to try to get information on this, and one of the guys from the raid server, Block, right? He did he delete it? Maybe he put it in discussion. Oh, did he do it with GMY? He did it with GMY. All right. I don't actually use GMY in that team. You really, it's Luminara and Kit Fistu that are important. If you go over to the raid server, I have been told, I guess at high levels, that's their recommendation is GMY. But at lower levels, it's more about Kit Fisto than anything else. But this would be the place to go, all right? The Star Wars Galaxy Hero raid server, they are going to be really good at answering those questions for people. All right, and this guy, roster review requests. So we got Michael over here, Michael Kai, 7-8, and we're at 7-14. So almost a week ago. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes time just gets a better of you. 156 actually, and this is somebody I talk to pretty often. He likes to check in with me, which is nice. I like when people check in. All right. All hail the man. No, don't say nice things about me. I mean, thanks again for the review. Fleet discard is currently filled with a few Leviathans, Profundities, and Executors. I'm constantly in 9 to 15 with no contact with my fleet, unaware of there being a Discord for it. The assault battles are shored up except for Forest Moon. Seekers of Shadows is where it needs to be for right now. Fanatical Devotion. Okay, we don't have that yet. I'm currently gearing up Quad May. I know that you're a big fan of them. MKG for the new raid and the new assault battle. I'm not sure about our 9s. While getting charged for bow, mandala requirements, and also finishing off ships for Leviathan. I'm trying to get gas to 7 before gearing him up, and then afterwards I'll be moving towards either getting Ray or C, unless a Lightspeed bundle comes out for him, or working my efforts towards JMK and possibly fleshing out a few possible teams. I love when people have these like very, very, very specific plans. Because I don't know what they want me to do. Again, I have a 4-minute video on reaching out to your fleet Discord and how to do it. Look it up, tag me on Discord, tag Conquest on Discord. He'll send it to you, he'll link it to you. He's really good at finding that stuff. It's not an intuitive process to be able to do, but I definitely would reach out to people in your shard to see if there is a Discord. It is something that I highly, highly, highly recommend getting done. Let's see our raid history. You battled for Naboo. You did 390,000. Oof. Let's check out what your guild is doing. 364. So your guild did 19.7 million. I'm still on Discord, so we're gonna pop that on so you can see it. They did 19.7 million. Once again, if we come over here, 19.7 million would be right here in that second box. But if we wanted to pop it up to that third box, just like the guy before you, you really only need an average goal of like 450 million. You have a much higher, bigger account than he does though, so I have a feeling that you can kind of get there a little bit easier. Let's check it out. All right. See our collection. Ooh. I think Jabba was my suggestion, right? I appreciate that. I know you were a big Jedi Knight Cal Kestis nerd. I don't personally get it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So you're kind of a prime candidate here. Where is he? Right? For that, you could either do it as the 3-man or as the 5-man to get considerably more points. Right? You could either do the 3-man here with Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, Nute Gunray. It's a little bit more manual heavy and really requires pretty decent mods. Or you could do the B2 Magna Guard. Stop isn't necessarily required for this, right? I don't think you have stop. You shouldn't have stop. Yeah, we don't have stop, and that's fine. He's not necessarily required for this, especially at lower ends, but this would be like the most ideal. You could even throw B1 in here. He'll die. Droid Decay in here is probably a little bit better, so Droid Decay would be my suggestion. Sidious and Maul, and you'll be able to put up more points than you're currently putting up now and probably get very close to the minimums for your guild in order to hit that next box. And I know you buy a lot of Lightspeed bundles, man. So yeah, right. Again, do this Zeta. Pull the trigger on the Luminara Zeta. Luminara, Kit Fisto. Out of who you have, Luminara, Kit Fisto. GMY seems to be the best in slot. Probably for your needs, not necessarily required. So Luminara, Kit Fisto. Even if you just use like Ethkoth, Plu Koon, I'm trying to end Qui-Gon, you are going to jump to way beyond what your guild needs you to do for this raid. You will be a raid hero. It's very low investment for you. I would be doing that as a super, super, super short-term project. And then you can just not worry about the raid much at all. And I know you're working on Quad May and you bought the shards and right, like you, Master, yeah, you bought the shards. So that team, like you don't need to invest too crazy in the raid. It seems like with that 3-man as well, you're gonna be fine. But these are things that you could do super dirt cheap to really, really elevate your guild score more than anything else. Gearing up that Quad May 1, shards for Bo-Katan, Mandalore requirements. Let's see. You're one of those people, those strange accounts. You always love going for the new thing. Do you not even have pause? Did you miss his marquee or did you just not do it? Keller and Beck. I forgot who else was a requirement. Keller and Beck, Paz, Vizsla, and Ig, right? Ig and Grogro. That's so interesting. You have Ig 11. Like, this can't be right, right? Oh, there it is. Okay, Ig 12. It's not what I would do at all. Yeah, thank you. So much information in my head that it might be time for Inquisitors, dude. I know you're not a fan, but I think it's time to bite the bullet there. Honestly, do that raid stuff. Fuck Bo-Katan. She's good. She's really good. Don't get me wrong. And Mandalore is solid unless your guild is heavily pushing it. But at 365, I can't imagine it. This is the time. You're at that point where this is the project that you should be doing is the Inquisitors. Be the hero for your guild. Start doing them. Start working on that assault battle. Get them to that R7. Start earning those Reva shards. She is transformative for you at this point. Ray or C. JMK, do we have... We should have Cat. It's been a while, right? You do have Cat. Okay. So let's take a look at our gear tracker. Yeah, you bought that Lightspeed bundle. I would ignore C. You're at a point in the game where I think he's a really great first GL because he has a lot of ROI attached to him, but you already have a lot of that ROI attached to you. Oh, and you're like right there. Nice. So I wouldn't even worry about C. Let's go back to our collection. Do we have Ben? We don't have Ben solo yet. I have to imagine that you're getting shards from him for him in Proving Grounds and that you should have him in the next couple of months at the absolute worst case scenario. And what was the one that we're not doing? It's Forest Moon. Let's check it out. Okay. I wouldn't waste energy on CT3 Forest Moon right now. If I had it my way on this account, and I know that I don't, but that's why you do come to me, right? I would say that I would do finishing up some of those raid shoring ups. I know you invested heavily crystal-wise in the Quadme team, so I understand wanting to prioritize them. I would Zeta Luminara. I know you're in a Zeta crunch, but it will jump your raid score considerably with even just doing that. The next thing that I would be doing is I would be doing my Inquisitors. I know it sucks, but they are transformative with GI, and then they transform again with Riva, and your guild is at that point where that's something, if they're not already asking about, they're probably going to start thinking about soon. After that, I would do Ray just because you are that close to Ray. And then I would skip C entirely and go to JMK. Now, during all of that, you are very low on Bow Mandalore shards. You only need 3 characters worth of shards for that. Slow farm them. That's fine. Slow farm those things while you're working on everything else, right? Don't put too much effort towards it. Don't put gearing towards it, but slow farm them so that when you are done with everything else, you have that project already ready for you, right? So again, I would do the raid stuff. I would do the Luminara Zeta. You have a Sith Separatist team already kind of built out for you with the BT2 lead. Your 3-man with Quad May is already kind of like getting to where it needs to be. Do Ray because you're super, super, super close to that. Skip C entirely for right now. Do JMK. You have Cat. By the time you have JMK, that's when you're going to want to gear up Cat. That's what I would do. That's it, man. That's I think all you need, dude. That's how I would approach it. That also saves you. I don't think it's worth waiting for Lightspeed bundles, but it saves you because you'll have some extra time towards that maybe C Lightspeed bundle. And he's not really a character that at your level you need considerably, so it won't be problematic for you. Let's move on. Sacae. Sacae, I don't know. 208. 208. Let's say 30. All right, let's see. Bit of a crossroads and would love to get your opinion. Top 20 of my fleet chart is 1 or 2 Profundities, 1 Leviathan, 2 Finalers that somehow stay up constantly, and the rest are Executors, including myself. Because of the Executors, your Executors help those Finalizers stay there. To my knowledge, there's no Discord chat for my shard. Reach out to those people. I recommend it highly. I've talked about it twice already on stream. I have a 4-minute video on how to do it. It is worth it, even if it's relatively consistent. Your assault battles seem to be mostly in a good place. Secrets and Shadow. Secrets and Shadow, you think you can, and if not, you should be able to do it next. I finished JML not too long ago and then started working towards Leia, as she seems to be the next closest GL. I have all shard farming done. Just need to gear and relic level with the recent GL Ahsoka announcement and the new raid coming out. I have paused my Leia progress and I'm currently just hoarding resources. Are you dead set? Not really. I'm deciding whether to continue Leia, work on raid teams, or try for GL Ahsoka. Leaning towards going for Ahsoka just because I like the character, but without knowing the full requirements, it's hard to commit. There could be requirements that I'm just not in a position to get currently. How highly do you value efficiency? I try to find a balance. Are there any favorite characters? GL Ahsoka, but again, I might know it might not be possible. Hopefully the full requirements end up being reasonable. I'm going to tell you right now, we don't know the requirements for Ahsoka. We know the first 4 of them, obviously. For somebody in my position, they were not that bad, but we're looking at least 4 marquees, and we already have an R9 requirement, 1 at least. I do think Ahsoka is going to be a relatively expensive GL to get. That would be my expert opinion there. And that's just something I would keep in mind. As far as GL Leia, I haven't looked at your account yet, but it's not always what what's closest is the best. And the shard farming part is usually not the part that is the limiting factor for a lot of people, especially in the earlier game. In the later game, it might be the limiting factor because you're not gearing things up as quickly since you already have them. 1530. Okay, kind of closer. Profundity, 820, that's not that bad. Leviathan is there. Let's check out our raid. How did you do in the raid last time? Battle for Naboo, you did 400,000, not super great, but we don't know what guild you're in, and that was only our first time doing the raid, so who knows. Let's see how your guild did. 429. Your guild did 25 on Naboo. Once again, we look here. You did 29 Battle for Naboo, so you're hitting this right here, this third box, which means you really need an average that is just slightly above yours. But if we were to jump to box 4, because your guild is always going to want to progress, you're going to need about 1.3 million, right, as a total. Let's see how we are. Yeah, to some extent, but like Ahsoka Tano snips at R9, like it's expected, but it's rough. Not many people have her above R5. There really isn't that much reason to, and that's very expensive. Gas, like, yeah, that's great because he's a Lord Vader requirement already, and he's a good character. And then who even was the third one outside of Night Trooper? I don't even remember. Pull it up now on my phone. Asajj at R5. Yeah, so not terrible, but I do think that the relicking is going to be relatively high here. Let's check out our squads for this raid. All right, so again, we're in a position where you bought the Lightspeed bundle. Put the Zeta on Luminara. It is going to jump up your raid score considerably to use her in the lead spot. Luminara, Kit Fisto is a non-negotiable for that team. Plo Koon, Eth Koth is not the greatest character, but he does work in the team, and you obviously already have him at R5. And I like Shakti in that team, especially if you don't have anything else, just because of the Dispel on basic. Her ship's not useless, but it does what it needs to do at R5. So with the Luminara Zeta, you are going to jump up your raid score pretty considerably without too much effort. Right, and kind of the same thing here. You have B2. B2 lead seems to really, really work great for the raid. So like B2 lead with Druidika, Magna Guard, and then let's just make sure that you have your Sith Seppies in order. Darth Sidious in there, and then Darth Maul. I don't see him. It's very rare that you don't even see an unlocked Darth Maul. Oh, there he is. I don't know why I missed him. So like your Sidious and Darth Maul with that Sith Seppies team. Between those two teams, if you bring that Sith Seppi team to at least R3, your Luminara Scout is already R5, right? And if we kind of look at the sheet here, you need an R3 squad and a G12 squad. You're already in a pretty good position for raid stuff without having to invest too heavily. Now, we're at a crossroads because we have to talk about ROI versus fun, right? If you want to do the fun thing, then go for GL Ahsoka. I really don't recommend it. I know Azurite Bird, who's on the stream too, she's going for her as her first GL, which I think is completely insane. But you're trying to have fun in the game, I get it, and you do you, right? If that's your case and you're like, man, it's going to be so much more fun for me, then do it. But I do think with 3, possibly 4 marquees. Well, actually, I think it is 4 marquees, right? So with 4 marquees, one of them already being R7, so it's likely all 4 of them are going to need to go to R7. With already having 1 R9, it's going to be really expensive, and I don't recommend it. I don't think it's a good idea. GL Leia, you are a little bit closer to GL Leia than you are to Jabba by about like 500 when we're talking about it in relation to like carbonate circuit boards. My personal opinion is that Jabba's considerably more important than Leia. So if I had it in my perfect world, I would probably do Jabba, Profundity, Leia. Okay? My perfect world. Your perfect world would be Ahsoka, Leia, Jabba, Profundity. In the middle, I would say do the raid stuff that I've isolated as being very small time, easy stuff for you to do. Then do Leia. Then reassess towards Ahsoka. Right? And if Ahsoka's out of range, do Jabba. Because that'll give you time. We'll know over the next like 9 to 12 weeks all of the stuff you need. Unless you're planning on spending a ton of money, you're not getting her day 1 anyway because of all of the marquees. So go for Leia. Then reassess once we have all of the answers, and then you can decide, do I go for Ahsoka next or do I go for Jabba next? But that would be those would be kind of like where my thoughts are on that. Kyber 4, 6 million, still holding off on those Inquisitors. That's really the pathing that I would take. But the last thing that I want to do, because you're doing all of these assault battles at CT2, I just kind of want to take a quick look and see if there's any we can shore up for you to CT3. Veer Stark Piet, Snowtrooper, Range Trooper. You get those Snowtrooper and Range Trooper to G12 and you throw your fastest mods on. You can more than definitely do CT3 of Forest Moon. Trooper, Palpatine, Vader. You can probably do Places of Power, but it's not going to be fun. You're going to hate yourself. I do not recommend it. You have JML now, so Ground War should be a fairly easy CT3. You're going to want to use Jedi Knight Luke as your lead. As I said to Newinstinct before, you're going to want to have absolutely 0 speed on him for this because you're going to use him as the leader. Jedi Master Luke, so Jedi Knight Luke lead, Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Revan would be really nice, Hermit Yoda would be really nice. I personally like General Kenobi in this squad for the mass attack, because JML will be your tank here, and basically you are going to want to use the mass, the granted ability, so that Jedi Knight Luke gets a quick turn and speed limits everybody, and you're going to want to end every round with that speed limit ability so that he starts each round. I also like to go through each round slow enough that I can start each round with Jedi Knight Luke doing a stun. It's a little bit long, but it shouldn't be a problem if you only have to do it once. Military might. Military might probably should be a CT3 too. Let's take a look. Okay, so military might. Commander Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, C-3PO, Chewie, Mon Mothma. You don't even need the Zetas. Start the battle. As long as your mods on these guys are pretty good. They're not terrible. Maybe remod a little bit for speed. But start the battle, use the granted ability on everybody, and then hit auto. And you should be pretty good. Again, your speeds are a little iffy. I would maybe remod just for this event, but that CT2 should be super easy. Or that CT3 should be super easy at 3 stars. And you're most definitely doing this at CT1. I can see you doing this at CT2 as well. All right, so that should hopefully help. Hopefully that gives you all the information you need. I think this is a pretty easy one. Just remember, don't over prioritize on the raid because you don't want to be too high above your guild's average. It's not that it hurts you, but it doesn't help you to not go towards other things. All right, NRM. Let's see what we got here. No, in military might, you do not. It lasts the whole battle. Kind of cool, right? You just do it in phase 1 and you're good to go. 222. Let's just say 223. All right, let's see. Egnards, if you get a roster review, that would be great. I started in 2016-ish. That's where my fleet chart is, and I only know that because I found my ship shard in here, but I took a rather long break around the Revan era and came back around the time GLs were starting. I'm an officer in my guild, and we are fairly serious and focused on TB mainly, but do well on everything. I'm currently doing Gungans, and I was going to go right to Mommy Mandalore, but I am debating upon doing JMK just because of the requirements that are needed for the new raid. Or pulling the Queen and her men to R9 for the AB and the 3.6 in the raid. I'm a raid officer, so basically to set an example. Also, I'm free to play for the most part, so you're not free to play. Casual spender, just fucking own it, man. There goes my pencil. Just own it. It's totally okay to be a casual spender. Bought for me and grabbed the Phoenix and Mando ones myself, but don't plan on really buying any more. Any advice you would have would be great. All right, let's see. All right, let's check this out. We got Nick's profile. We are 10 million. All right, so with that big gap, you've managed to get yourself where you need to be, 4.76 million, or 476 million. Your guild is doing about 60 in battle for Naboo. Let's check this out. So we go to our, nope, not the reverse tier list. Where is it? Raw data. So you're in box 4 right now as a guild. You probably want to get to at least box 5, right? I'm imagining maybe even box 6. But let's go with box 6 for right now. Let's say that that's your goal. You need about 1.8 million, right? So here's the thing about Quad Maze Squad and bringing it to R9. I think at your level, it's not a bad idea for ROI alone. But even as a raid officer, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you take that team and you get the 3.6, you don't have to invest very much more heavily in the raid because you are going leaps and bounds above what your guild expectation is, even as an officer, right? So that 3.6 from that one team is going to put you at double what the average goal is for you for your guild, even to jump 2 boxes. So just kind of, keep that in mind, not to go too crazy. That spreadsheet's actually for a video that I'm working on with the raid server, so you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek of that. Let's go back to our thing here. Kyber 3, good. We have Leviathan. I don't have to waste time on that. That's very nice. Collections. Yeah, I have to get it approved. We've been working on it the last couple of days. I want to get it approved before I do the video. I did a couple rough draft trial runs this morning, and I kept like saying things wrong and then cursing. So we're gonna have to redo that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 GL. It's not bad. We have Revo, which is really nice. I want to check out your other guilds. How did you do on the raid before? So you did 1.5 overall. Let's check out your Gungans because you said you're working on them. Phalanx is still getting up there. And by the way, you don't even need... Fat Phil sent me a few screenshots of him maxing without Jar Jar and without the Omicron, which is crazy. So you should be doing pretty good once Phalanx is up there. Sith. I'm assuming your Sith Seppies are kind of... where is he? Yeah, like... Where's Maul? Darth Maul, Darth Sidious. I can't imagine you don't have Nuke Gunray. Right. So again, the point that I'm trying to drive home is don't over invest in this raid because you're already putting in a lot of legwork and a lot of investment into them. All right, so you haven't gotten these guys up yet. That's good then. The R9 with the ROI on the assault battle, I do think that it's worth it, but it's going to take you a little bit of time to get there. Between your Gungans, once you have them all R5, between your Sith Seppi squad, where you could do the 3-man, which is a little bit more manual friendly, which is your Maul, Sidious, Nuke Gunray, or your 5-man squad, which is a little bit more auto friendly, which is your B2 lead, the same Maul, Sidious, and then like if you have stop, I don't know if you have stop, it does make your life. Is there a filter for that? Oh man, dude, thank you. Oh dude, I love you. I seriously, I fucking love you. That makes life so much easier. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So much easier. Basically what I'm trying to say is that your investment that you're already working towards is fine, but don't overdo it. Don't go too crazy with it. Where to go from there? I love it. Dude, I love learning stuff. Awesome. Doing JMK because they're waiting for the narrator pulling the queen and her men to R9. Man, let's see. What are our tools here? Okay. All right. Do you have other fleets? No. You have 2 of them. You have Leia. How's your Ahsoka coming along? Okay. Bo-Katan, Mommy Mandalore. I like my Mommy Mandalore. You're in a position where you can do that. Without too much problem. Vader, we don't need that. We have Rey, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have this. Eternal. This is what's fucking killing me, is not having Jabba. I knew there was a reason that I came here. It really fucking kills me when people don't have Jabba, especially at 10 million. All right, so you're the raid officer. You need to work on some raid stuff. I get that. Let's go back to our raid filter, which is my new best friend in the entire world. Between your Gungans, getting your Gungans up in the near future with Phalanx, which should be at R5, is what, 1.2 at R5, so you'll have 1.2 just from them. You are working on the Master Qui-Gon, Padme, and Padawan Obi-Wan. Whether or not you go to R9 is a personal choice. I think at 10 million you can afford to do it. That's another 3.6 million that you're going to be getting in relatively short order. It does, yeah, you have your B2 Magna Guard, Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, and based on who you have, I'd throw Nuke Gunray in there. You're going to do fairly well in tier 5. That's another 1.2. Your watch has ended at that point. Don't go too crazy on the raid after. Again, the Quad May squad I don't think is the hyper efficient choice, but I don't think it's a bad choice, right? And it's something that I'm going to be doing once I have both of those guys farmed. Let's see how your Mommy Mandalore squad is coming along, but first let's just check. Commander Ahsoka you have up and running. Paz, it's getting up there. Hey, good morning. Paz Ig 12, you have him there. And Beck, right? Beck's getting there. Okay. I wouldn't do Mommy Mandalore specifically for Beck. Even at 12 million, I'm not even really using Beck as anything other than a fodder team, just because I don't want to get the other guys up right now just yet. And it's not going to be a priority for you to do that. What I think I would do is I would slow farm your Bo-Katan Mandalore shards. Not as, just 5 battles a day, get them up to where they need to be as you get those characters. Really, I say go for Jabba. You have at least one of her Carrot guys up, and Cursatan's your only marquee that needs to go up. But well, you don't need Bam because he has Executor. So that's not even. He's got to get it up 2 relic levels. That's not even a thing at this level. I would slow farm Mandalore. Mommy Mandalore. My personal opinion is Jabba, but based on your question specifically, yes, I think it's a good time to work on JMK in the interim while you're slow farming them. You do have Cat, you have really, you have everything kind of shored up on your account already. You don't really have to worry about anything. You have most of your ROI there. But you're really lacking in that Jabba ROI, and he's such a great character for that. You're also in a position where Ahsoka is something to think about. The problem is, you get to use my emotes because you're a subscriber. Isn't that nice? You get that nice thing. I'm gonna put this here because I just think it's that important. But at 10 million, you have to think about Ahsoka. I personally believe she's probably going to be attached to a raid. She's coming out November, December. The next raid is probably around February. That kind of fits the bill relatively nicely for when Jabba came out, for when Leia came out, for when Gungans came out. So I think she is going to be important for somebody that is in your position. But I think in your position, because you're higher up, because you're probably doing really well in TB, because you are hitting number 1 in fleets, that you'll be able to build up some of these projects while also farming towards Ahsoka. It's just something to think about as on the horizon, as something you don't want to neglect. I would 100% be doing Jabba before Leia. 100%. I said that even while Speeder Bike was out. But now the case is more so than anything else. Jabba's ROI is the highest ROI event in this game, especially if you want to let your account really work for you. So that would be where I'd go with this. I just, again, as the raid officer in your guild, I would not go too heavy-handedly on the raid. You're already doing a lot. I see you landing probably around the 6 million mark if you do end up R9ing the Quad May team. And your guild needs, what did I say, 1.8 million as an average. So just kind of with a grain of salt, right? That's what I would consider. All right, we're gonna do one more and then I gotta get ready to go into the city. Heading into Manhattan. If anyone's in Manhattan and want to join us, we'll be at Beer Culture on 45th. One of my favorite places. I gotta go get my pencil because I threw my pencil like a dumbass. Yeah, it's something, because he's at 10 million. It's something that you want to think about. All right, this is somebody I've spoken to on numerous occasions. 237. Let's just say 238. 2 R7s and R5 to clean on JML. There you go. Some people I say JML into Jabba. Some people I say Jabba into JML. For you, obviously JML into Jabba. But that is a huge like pro move to do in order to build out your account. It's kind of the idea of like auto clicker. Actually, we were talking about like the clicker games earlier, right? Let the account work for you. So let's see what Discord is saying here. He sent me a ton and then got yelled at by Moonborn and then had to resubmit it. It was a whole fun time. Oh boy. Okay, so I cannot zoom in on this, so I'm gonna get really close to the screen so that I can even read this. Still going. Am I still on? My thing is telling me that we're loading. I just want to double check this real quick that you guys are still hearing me, so I'm not wasting my time. There we go. Okay. We are. All right. Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, I can do that. Well, can I do that? It's message link, right? Smart idea. File, new tab. Let's pop this over here. Discord is loading that. Hold on. Copy link. No, it's just loading browser Discord, and I'm not going to waste a ton of time on that. So I am just going to get in really close and read a link to your .gg. I already have this guy. I love him. Top 20 of your fleet, 13 Leviathans. Are you coordinating? No. Hovering around 50 with Executor. If you're not coordinating them, I've told you with this. I don't know if you've reached out to them already, but now that you have Executor, now is the time to do it. Assault Battle, CT1, CT3 with the SLK Archies, Military Might, CT3, Ground War, CT3, Secrets and Shadows, CT2, no Fanatical Devotion yet. What are you currently working on? Oh, I see the open in browser thing. Silly me. Beautiful. Dumb me. We are going to pull this up on the browser. Yeah, listen, I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. Ba-da-da-da-da. We're gonna put it in this one. There we go. Look at that. What are you currently working on? No idea. I just unlocked Jabba. Might need to finish his farm with the appropriate relic levels on Embo. You don't really need Embo. Embo is good for territory wars. I do use him, but you can also use Boba Fett. It's not going to hurt the team considerably. You can, though. I'm intentionally leaving this blank to see what you think I should go for. I have some ideas, but want to leave it blank. Yeah, that's fine. That tells me that you're not committed. Are you dead set on continuing? No. How highly do you value efficiency? 7-3. Love it. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though it's not smart? There we go. All right, let's check this out now. 6.7 million. See our raid history. Raid history, Battle for Naboo. We did 180,000, which is nothing. 310 galactic power. Let's see what this guild is doing. 23 right now. They used to do 148, so let's check this here. They were doing the 148, so 144 box, and now they are at a much lower box. They're at this box here. They probably want to get back to that 90, right? That 90 is box 6, which is about 1.8 million per person. JML, Kylo, Ray. So Jabba, oh, there he is. Jabba's there. You should be doing CT3 Rebel Roundup soon, right? That should be happening for you once you get him reliced up and good to go. Check out these troopers. No, okay, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to move these over. All right, otherwise we're in good order. And let's do my new favorite trick that we learned about today. I'm actually surprised you didn't buy that Lightspeed bundle. I know you've bought a bunch of them. Okay. I don't know if it's worth getting you to the average right now, but we do want to get you something. We want you contributing to your guild and getting a personal box. Honestly, I would probably bring Maul and Sidious to R5 and do like the B2 Magna Guard, Nute Gunray, Darth Maul, Darth Sidious team. If they're all at R5, you should be getting close to 1.2 million. It's not going to get you to that 1.8, but that's several jumps for your guild. So it'll help your guild considerably, and it'll keep you at that point where they're happy with you. I wouldn't do too much more than that for this raid unless your guild really heavily pushes you towards it. Right, we've got 1, 2, 3. I would love to see you get a ship. Let's see what these ships are. I know you have your 4-star executor, but really it'd be really nice if we can get you another one. $1,500, $800. Leia's not terrible. Calcestis, JMK. All right, let's check out this collection again. Let's see how our Calcestis requirements are doing. We're not really even on the board with this, which is fine. Okay, so Leviathan's really off the charts right now. Yeah, I do too, and he's somebody who I talk to quite a lot, and he is a formatting nut, which is really cool. It does help. It's a lot of information to go on, and I feel like I'm almost being tested here. How are those layout requirements doing? Okay, Rex, Drogon. Well, Rex, Drogon, Scout. Alright, Scout's down there. Rex, Drogon, Scout. Don't help Nissa. Nissa. And Nissa. We have Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan Kreese. Here's what I do, man. You're past the ROI point where you don't have to worry as much anymore, right? You've kind of built those things out. I would try to get at least one R5 raid team in there so that your guild doesn't hate you, they don't boot you, so you're happy with you, so that you're contributing, so that you're getting a personal raid box to help them build up. We've kind of isolated the team that's probably smartest for you specifically is like the B2, Magna Guard, Newt Gunray, Darth Maul, and Sidious at R5. And the nice thing is that even though Darth Sidious and Darth Maul are not that great outside the raid, they are future requirements for you that you're going to need eventually, so it's not like you're wasted there. That's kind of the first thing I would do. But because your ROI is really shored up on your account outside of fleet, I would like to see you getting more fleet crystals, most definitely. Let me just kind of check this again because I forgot the star amount. All right, we have our 5. I would like to see you getting more fleet crystals as a definite, and once and if you reach out to your fleet Discord, you can hopefully at least get into the top 20, right? What do you got? 13 Leviathans, 4 Profundities, a Chimera, and the rest Executor. You should be able to get into the top 20 right now without too many problems. You might even get into the top 10 because with that many Executors, you might be able to jump people sometimes. You're at a point where I think the smarter move is to go Leia Profundity. But with JMK being a favorite farm of yours, and with a lot of the assault battles mostly being where they need to be, you're not in a bad place to go for him. So if he's a favorite character that you really like, I would just pull the trigger now. This is the time to do it while you're bouncing between projects. But do the raid thing first to get yourself at least one team that's going to be workable there. I would really like to see you get another GL fleet so that you can focus on crystal gearing one while free to play gearing the other one, right, month after month. So Profundity is something that I would like to see on your nearer term radar. So if I were to say what my 100% most preferred route would be, it would probably be Profundity, Leia, and then going into JMK. But for you, if like for fun, you're like, oh, like I really want to do this, JMK, Profundity, Leia. You're not in a position where you need to be too concerned about Ahsoka Tano right now. You're not in a position where you have the Leviathan requirements right now. Profundity will make things a little bit easier for you in GAC, and it's a little bit better future proofed than Executor is going to be, leading into the future of the game. Yeah, and you don't really need to worry about Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. You don't really need to worry about Inquisitors just yet. But that's the way that I would take my farms right now. That one Sippy Seth squad. Again, there's my preferred route, Profundity, Leia, JMK. And then the preferred for fun route would be JMK, Profundity, Leia. So kind of like almost like a flip-flop of the two. That's where I'd go. Not too much more else to say. With that said, I got to get ready to get into the city today. And if you don't hear from me by tomorrow, I've been kidnapped. If you're not on our Discord, come join our Discord. We got a great group of content creators. We work with other servers. We work with other creators. We organize a lot of information. It's getting more robust by the day. We have our Territory Battles library. You can buy a sweet Egnards hoodie. Oh, I keep doing that. Sweet Egnards hoodie there. Whatever you got to do, but have a great rest of your weekend, guys. And look for in the next day or two that spreadsheet that I kind of used in my reviews today. Look for a whole breakdown of that. So